We are live here in Moore Hall on the beautiful campus of Central Michigan University, where the Season 4 premiere of Card Guys is just minutes away. Ryan Donnelly, one of the co-creators of the show, is ready here on a Monday morning. How about Michael Rosenkranz getting ready for his third season here on the program? And the host, Anthony Schulte, ready for one last run here for Season 4 of Card Guys. This is Card Guys Season 4 premiere, and we are live!
Live from the Dr. Jerry Henderson Radio Complex, it's time for Card Guys. And now, here's your host, Anthony Schulte.
Good morning! Thank you, Michael, for the intro as always, and welcome to Card Guys Detroit Sports Talk, Season 4, Episode 1, the series finale debut episode. Coming up today, we have a lot to cover, as a lot has happened in our month of absence from the airwaves. The Detroit Pistons are above 500 and winners in 9 of their last 11. Yes, the Detroit Pistons. Sparked by a 5-game win streak in the All-Star season of Cade Cunningham, we discuss the abrupt resurgence of Detroit basketball, and boy, am I happy. The Lions clinched first place in the NFC and the NFC North title in a win against the Vikings in prime time in Week 18. We discussed that in their upcoming contest next Saturday in the divisional round against the Washington Commanders. The Red Wings are on a 7-game win streak right now, part of the recent success in Detroit sports, and we will discuss the revitalization of Hockeytown and their new head coach hire. And to cap off the show, we recap our year-long pick series, including Bowl Mania, Pigskin Pick'em, and we also preview a little bit of the NFL playoffs, just a little bit. I'm Anthony Schulte, and joining me as always is my man, Ryan Donnelly.
Oh my goodness, folks, we missed you. It's been a great, restful, and it's been a long, long month. Grandma, before you ask questions, yes, this is the final year. Yes, we don't know if we're doing this again. There you go. You probably are going to text me later. Are you going to be done with the Card Guys? Yes.
For context, Michael, you're graduating after this semester.
Correct.
Me and Ryan are going into a different field, which we need to put a lot of our focus and time into, which means it just kind of feels fitting for this semester, this season, Season 4 of the show, to be the final season. Kind of the last time is now. Like John Cena's going on his WWE farewell tour, we're going on our Card Guys farewell tour.
Our time is up. I'm pointing to outside the door because of incoming freshmen. Their time is now.
Yes, it is.
Yes, absolutely.
So it'll be a fun season, kind of a season to, enjoy talking about sports, enjoy each other's company, and bringing you guys content every Monday and Wednesday.
Yeah.
Also, right next to me, Mr. Michael Rosenkranz.
Great to be back on the airwaves. It was a great break. I hope you guys had a great break. It was restful, and boy, a lot has happened in the Detroit sports world, and I could not be happier. Let's get right into it, gentlemen.
Let's get into it. 3 stars. We love this segment, 3 stars. If you're just joining us for the first time, new subscriber, new viewer, 3 stars is kind of like a little opening segment we do, kind of taking off the hockey 3 stars kind of concept. Ryan brought it to the show. It was a great idea. It stuck like glue. We give our 3 stars since our last broadcast. Best performers in athletics, sports, mainly Detroit sports. So, Ryan, we'll kick it off with you to start off this final season of Card Guys.
Okay, so before I get into my 3 stars, I have a thing I do called the Derek Lalonde negative star. I do this every week or every show if there's another bad performance. Today, the first Derek Lalonde negative star of Season 4, Episode 1, and of 2025, excuse me.
If you smell what the Rock is cooking!
The Rock is my negative star. And you're probably asking yourself, Ryan, why is The Rock your negative star? Well, about a year ago, he came back to the WWE as the final boss.
It's going to be Bloodline Rules.
Though he came back as a bad guy, beating up Cody Rhodes every week on Monday Night Raw.
Listen here, Mama Rhodes.
Mama Rhodes. He came back. He beat everybody up. He came back in October for Bad Blood, which we did recap.
Tell Mama Rhodes I said hello.
He did, which he came back, and he still acted like a bad guy. Well, last week, Monday Night Raw had made history, making their first show, moving to Netflix.
Beat out Squid Games. It's the number one show on Netflix worldwide, beating out Squid Games. Monday Night Raw.
That is wild.
Shows you
Wrestling.
how awesome the WWE is.
Yeah.
And The Rock, the final boss.
It's going to be Bloodline Rules. Sorry.
The final boss came out as a good guy.
Well, there's a guy named Santi Zap on YouTube. He said it perfectly. The final boss. It was Dwayne Johnson, the TKO member, the TKO leadership member, disguised and cosplayed as the final boss. That's who it was. He was appeasing to the Netflix higher ups that were there, so they were happy with the product. I think that's what it was.
Fair enough, but that's not the reason why he's my negative star. The reason why he's my negative star is, what are his plans for WrestleMania? Is he going to have a match? Is he just going to be there? There was rumors that said that he was not going to have a match, but then he also said he was. So I don't know. He's coming back to NXT tomorrow to speak on stuff. I don't know, but that's my negative star. Anyways.
Wasn't he on NXT last week too?
Yep.
Yeah.
And he looked lost. Anyways.
He really didn't know what he was going to say.
Yep. My third star is a frequent star on the show, which is Jahmyr Gibbs, who a couple Sundays ago against the Minnesota Vikings, 23 carries, 139 yards, 3 touchdowns. His longest run was 47 yards, and he also had a receiving touchdown as well. He had 4 touchdowns on the night against the Minnesota Vikings, getting the win. We'll talk about that later in the show. My second star goes to Todd McClellan. We'll talk about it later in the show, but from a guy who was put in a really bad situation with Derek Lalonde in a lost locker room, and just the dump and chase offense that didn't work, to now leading this team to 7 wins. Haven't got outshot until yesterday. It's pretty impressive to see what he's done in Detroit. We'll talk about it later on the show. And my first star, J.B. Bickerstaff. I think I can admit, he can admit, we all can admit, the Detroit Pistons, what they're doing now, winning 20 wins in January, is more impressive than anything right now.
It is. And that's why it's
in my eyes, I see it that way. And that's where we're going to opening up the show with that. I'm just going to leave it at that. J.B. Bickerstaff is my first star.
Michael.
All right, so my third star, just kind of figuring out the order of this, how I want to go. I'm probably going to start with Albert Johansson of the Detroit Red Wings. I was fortunate enough to go to the game against the Chicago Blackhawks CMU night with my dad. Huge shout out to you, Dad, back home. And great game all around. Blackhawks, going into it, it's a team that you should beat. Red Wings were able to beat them. Not without making it interesting, though. Blackhawks sure made it interesting. They're a sneaky team. Parity is huge in the NHL, and anything can happen. The Blackhawks certainly made it interesting, but Johansson, who was called up from the Grand Rapids Griffins, got his first NHL goal that night against the Chicago Blackhawks, so that certainly felt good to get that monkey off his shoulder, off his back, and relieve that pressure off of him. Now that he has his first NHL goal, he could be a bright young player for this Red Wings team going forward. My second star is going to go to Dylan Larkin, the captain, the local boy out of Waterford. 5 goals in his last 5, 8 points in his last 5 games. He is heating up when we need him to, and phenomenal performance yesterday against Seattle. We'll talk about it a little later. He mentioned it. You got to keep your foot on the gas. Riding the streak, you got to keep your foot on the gas. They're all business, and Red Wings are looking awesome right now. Completely different team. First star is a fellow Detroit Piston. Tim Hardaway Jr.
Timmy!
My man was automatic.
He's been
from
on a heater.
the perimeter.
Been on a
7 of
heater.
8. What was it? 7 of 8 from 3?
I could check right now.
I want
actually.
to say he made like 7 straight threes. The dude could not miss.
Yeah, so in his last game, he had 27 points and 7 threes made. He was 7 of 8 from 3.
Yes.
And then a couple games ago against Portland, 26 points, 6 of 9 from 3.
He has really been working on his shooting and his ability to score.
Yeah.
And with that resurgence and that new life, you're really starting to see THJ foster into a great player that we all know he wasn't. We all know he wasn't Michigan. Yeah. I mean, Ryan, you're shaking your head.
Yeah. I mean, I'm shaking my head because most of these fans that saw the Tim Hardaway trade, they looked at it like really bad.
Yeah.
Because he was such a weak piece in that finals run, but I loved it. Not because he went to Michigan. For context, I'm a big Michigan basketball fan. But he's a good. We needed a good wing scorer. We needed a good guy to pair with Cade, and he was
And
just
somebody
that.
above the age of 28.
Yes.
Exactly.
We
I
need
mean,
some adults at the table.
exactly. You hit it right on the head. But those are my 3 stars. Anthony, what do you got for us?
All right, my third star, we're going to give it to the Lions' defense against Minnesota. You can kind of say it was a mixture of Sam Darnold reverting back to his Jets and 49ers days, but I attest it to this defensive group coming in, giving up a bunch of yards to the 49ers, giving up a bunch of points to the Bills a few weeks prior, and coming in and holding a red-hot Minnesota offense with all those weapons to 9 points, to 3 field goals. 0% from the red zone were the Minnesota Vikings. Justin Jefferson was locked up by Amik Robertson. Sam Darnold just didn't look comfortable. We were getting pressure. We were getting home. I think, didn't Za'Darius have a sack?
Yes.
Za'Darius had a sack.
Terrion almost got a pick. Terrion was great before he got unfortunately hurt. I don't know his timetable for return.
He should be back. He was dealing. Dan Campbell said it was day to day, so he should be back next week.
Anzalone came back. Oh, did we need him back? Did we need him back? This defense and Aaron Glenn's group looked incredible. That's why Aaron Glenn's going to become a head coach.
Yep.
This group looked incredible. They're getting hot at the right time. Lions defense is my third star. My second star, Cade Parker Cunningham.
Yeah, baby.
All-Star Cade. Make sure to vote for Cade for All-Star. He needs all the votes he can get. Vote for Cade and All-Star. Go to the NBA app. It's the top little story thing at the top of the app. Make sure you vote for Cade. I have 4 different accounts going for Cade right now.
Or for those who don't use apps, go to Pistons.com.
Yeah. You can
/vote.
find it online. You can find it online. But Cade Cunningham, let's just go through his most recent performances, shall we? Since we went off the air, just a little bit of, just a couple, highlight performances here. How about
show that Brooklyn game?
30? Well, he didn't play much because we didn't need him to play much. 33 points against Utah in that come from behind loss. We should have won that game. We forget about that game against Phoenix. 28 points, 13 assists, good shooting, and a couple posters from Cade. 20 points, 10 assists against the Lakers. 33 points, 10 assists against the Kings. These are all wins, by the way. 40 points, 9 assists against Minnesota in that shootout with Anthony Edwards and when Ant-Man dropped 53. 32 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds against Golden State. How about 32 points, 9 assists against Portland? 22 points, 17 assists, 10 rebounds against Toronto to put us at 20 wins. He has the most 20-point, 15 assists, 10 rebound games in Pistons history, I'm pretty sure. He is the second most this season, or the second most triple-doubles second most triple-doubles this season, behind Nikola Jokic, ahead of LeBron. I'm pretty sure I read that stat correctly.
Yeah, because Cade has 7 triple-doubles.
Yes. Or I think he's behind LeBron, third place. Either way, he's at the top of the league.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cade Cunningham averaging 24.2, 9.5, 6.7 points, assists, rebounds, shooting the ball well. Cade Cunningham having an all-star season just for his performance in our hiatus from the air. Second star. And my first star, we'll get into them coming up soon. Just the overall 2025 Detroit Pistons. This team is exceeding expectations from where we were at 14 wins last season. Now we're at 20 already, and we're in the middle of January. Malik Beasley coming in and he's going to go to the three-point contest. He's been incredible this season, averaging 16. Tobias, they call him Uncle T. Uncle T. He has 13 points a game, 6 rebounds a game. He's really been playing well recently. Jalen Duren on the offensive side of the ball, he's averaging a near 20 or a near double-double. 9.5 points, 9.4 rebounds. He's been decent. Jaden Ivey, before that terrible injury on New Year's Day, 17 points a game. He was really, in those games that he last played, he 22 points in those 3 quarters, 8 of 11 shooting 5 of 6 from 3. And I think in those last 3 games, he only missed like 4 3-pointers. He was shooting the ball well. Isaiah Stewart coming off the bench, playing great. Ron Holland, the energy guy, playing great. But the Pistons are my first star, kind of feeding in to our first topic, the Detroit Pistons. Yeah. As a lifelong fan of this ball club, haven't missed a game. I think it was I did the math, 531 consecutive games watched of this team.
That's crazy.
I don't know whether to feel sorry for you.
I don't know.
It's a mixed bag, but right now it's all worth it. Because all of the years, we won 17 games, 2022-23. 2023-24, we won 14 games. 2021-22, we won, what was it, 23 or 24?
23-24.
23-24. We have not been winning a lot. And to sit through the lineups of Derek Walton, Hamidou Diallo,
Luka Garza,
Sadiq Bey, love you, Sadiq, Luka Garza, these lineups that just, it didn't make sense, but you just had to throw them out there because they were bodies, right? Sitting through all these losses and all these seasons, and finally, we are a winning basketball team halfway through the year, above 500. It's refreshing. It's fun. It's nice. The bandwagons that, you wrote us off last year, they didn't want anything to do with the Pistons last year, these Detroit sports fans.
The Pistons, girly.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had a cough. My bad. I'm sorry.
Nah, you good.
That's some lore. That
the bandwagons that are coming, I'm calling them bandwagons because last season you wrote us off, you didn't want anything to do with us, you didn't want to watch, you left us out of Detroit sports conversation, said we didn't deserve to be a Detroit sports team. Now they're starting to crawl back. Ever so slowly, they're wait, I'm a big Pistons fan. No, you're not.
No,
I kept the receipts.
You're not.
I know. Trust me. I know.
go back to watching the Lions.
You can tell the fans that are just starting to watch now and the fans that have been through war. You can tell. And to the fans that have been through war, we are feeling great right now. We couldn't be happier. This is what we've been dreaming of for the last couple of years. The other fans, look, you're going to have your bandwagon Detroit fans. You're going to have your bandwagons across the league once you become good. That's just part of being good. You just got to focus on the true die-hard fans finally getting a taste of winning with Cade. And look what happens. Look what happens when you put a competent coach, a competent scheme, a coach you can play for, in veteran spacing around Cade Cunningham. He's an all-star. Averaging, let's just say, a double-double. 24 and 10, if we're rounding up. Cade Cunningham's an all-star. This season's been great. These have been good wins against good teams. It's not like we just have this easy stretch of games against bottom feeders. No, we're beating good teams. We're knocking off good teams.
Beat the Lakers twice.
Swept
beat
the Lakers.
Knicks. Beat the Suns. They're good in my eyes.
Let's just...
Hold on, I have the schedule pulled up. Beat the Timberwolves. They're pretty good. We came close. We were down 10 to the Warriors with like 3 minutes left, and we lost by 3.
We're down 20 with 6 minutes left.
Beat the Kings. What else? Heat we beat. They're fine. Nah, that's really it. Pacers.
Since November, we've beaten. Since we got blown out by the Knicks at home, we have beaten the Nets, the Lakers. We have beaten the Hawks. We came in within 2 against the Rockets.
When did we play
beat the
Hawks
Heat.
last?
We played the Hawks. That was Cade's game winner.
Oh.
We made that play-in run. Don't forget that play-in run we made. We almost got to the play-in semifinals. We murdered the Wizards. That was really a game that really set the tone. We finally got our first blowout victory. Let's see here. We beat the Pacers. We completely annihilated the Pacers. We beat the Knicks. That's what really started it, too. Beat the Knicks. And then we beat the Suns, beat the Lakers, beat the Kings, came close against the Nuggets, beat the Magic, then we beat the Hornets, then we beat the Timberwolves, then we beat the Blazers, then we beat the Nets, took a tough one against the Warriors, then we beat the Raptors. We have really put this season together. All credits to JB Bickerstaff for turning this thing around. Fred Vinson, Luke Walton on the coaching staff, on the assistant coaching staff. Jarrett Jack for sticking through with this team. Cade Cunningham for being a leader. Uncle T. We haven't talked about A. Tizzle yet. His nickname on the team is A. Tizzle. Asar Thompson.
Yeah.
A. Tizzle.
That's a nickname.
That's his nickname. Jalen Duren has been... It's been all right.
I like Duren, but he's not doing the best right now.
He has his moments, and that's what's keeping him here is he's having his moments. He's only 21, but there's some things that you just need to know in your third year, like clock awareness, basketball awareness, game awareness that he just doesn't have yet, that he really needs to start developing soon. Mm-hmm. If you guys can't tell, I just love talking about this team right now. I'm a happy camper after everything that we've been through as Pistons fans. To finally experience and taste winning against good teams. We are a game and a half out of fourth place in the East. That's home court advantage in the first round. And we're a game and a half back.
We are fourth place in the East.
We're fourth place in the conference. That's the
it's the conference.
That's
never mind.
Yeah, that's the Central.
Never mind.
I was like, what happened last night?
We're the 8th seed in the East.
Yeah, I thought that's what I thought.
Taking a
We
look
are
quickly at
8th
the standings, no one's going to touch Cleveland.
Cleveland's been good.
33-5, just lost to the Pacers last night. Celtics, Knicks, Magic.
Wait, the Pacers beat the Cavs?
Yep.
108-93
last night. Anyways, yeah, no one's touching Cleveland anytime soon. Boston, New York, Orlando, Indiana, Milwaukee, Miami, and then the Pistons at the 8th seed.
So the Pistons, you mentioned New York. We play New York tonight. Mm-hmm. New York's favored. We're in New York. Right now, I think the Pistons can beat anybody, anywhere. We have that team. We could be confident enough in our team. However, New York is going to play a little bit desperately for a win here. They've been struggling a little bit as of late. I keep up with James Edwards on Twitter, so I kind of know what's going on with New York. New York's going to be desperate for a win here. Mm-hmm. Detroit has been winning. And that is where, kind of against the Warriors, when you're winning games, you kind of get caught up. You kind of trip a little bit, you know? You're a little confident, boom, you trip. I don't want to say we're going to lose tonight. The Knicks are good. They're playing at home. We beat them at home last, and they're going to be a little bit desperate for play. Let's see how the Knicks have done. I want to say they've been struggling just a little bit.
Their last 5, they're 1-4.
Yeah. So they're desperate for a win here. The Knicks, as of late, they just blew out the Bucks, but they got blown out by the Thunder, barely beat the Raptors. I say barely because they only won by about 10. Lost to the Magic, got creamed by the Bulls. So, and then they lost to the Thunder before that too. So they're kind of up and down right now. They're looking to kind of put their foot back down here in the Eastern Conference, and a win against the Pistons will do that. So they're going to be playing a little bit desperate. As you said, 1-4 in their last 5. Pistons might be a little comfortable, might catch the Pistons off guard. Just saying, first quarter might be a tough watch.
It could be a tough watch, but I mean, what's been going on with this Pistons team is nothing short of just incredible. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know that I am not the biggest fan as you are, but I've still watched during the rough years.
You watched last year.
I watched last year. And that
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I watched last year, and that losing streak drew me more to the Pistons just because it was so comical. But what JB Bickerstaff and Trajan Langdon have been doing with this team has been refreshing, has been just, relieving in a sense. And it's been awesome. Now you got the Knicks tonight. Jalen Brunson's a game-time decision.
Oh, really?
He's a game-time decision, but the man dropped 44 points in his previous game, I'm pretty sure.
Against the Bucks. Yeah.
Against the Bucks. He dropped 44 against the Bucks. The dude's a playmaker. Mm-hmm. And the Knicks are also out a couple players, Mitchell Robinson and Kevin McCullough Jr.
Okay.
So they're out. Jalen Brunson's a game-time decision. You've beaten the Knicks at MSG.
Yeah.
MSG is a tough venue to play at. but you can beat the Knicks. Stick to fundamentals. Sometimes with a lot of these teams, it's just like, nothing fancy. Just stick to your fundamentals. Stick to the game that you know how to play. Good things are going to happen for you. Pistons are riding good vibes. They're above 500 for the first time, I think, since 2018-19.
Before that Warriors game, it was our first time since 2019.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. How far we've come, right?
Yep. It's crazy to look at the two different seasons.
It really is. And I want to get your guys' thoughts on this. Ryan, you can jump in on this too. We talk a lot about the bandwagon fans.
Yeah.
We mentioned
in this
it earlier.
city. We mentioned it earlier. Exactly. There are so many bandwagon fans in Detroit, Michigan, that it's
only support when they win.
Exactly. They only support when they win, and it just blows my mind. Like, for those who have not grown up with any of these teams and are just hopping on because it's fun to win,
or they made sure to make an emphasis that we didn't exist last season.
Exactly. Yeah. If you're in that boat, just go away. Just go away.
You know that
we
reel
don't need you.
that you post on your story where it's like all the guys' hands in the middle? It's like Lions, Red Wings, Michigan basketball. What was the Tigers?
And then
meme. There was a guy with a peg, and it was the Pistons. And then they're like, "No, not you.
Go away.
Not
Go away.
you."
Yeah, and that's what everybody did.
I remember seeing that reel.
We have
too.
receipts,
and
that is one of them.
Yep. Ryan, quickly before we move on to Lions.
Okay. Listen, I'm not like Anthony, Pistons wise. Like him and I met at a Pistons event.
We did. Draft party.
Here's the thing. I'm not the biggest. Let me say this. I'm not as big as a fan as Anthony. I haven't watched 530 consecutive games.
31.
That's not impressive. That is mentally insane.
It's a problem.
It's mentally insane.
And I try to make him break the streak every day, but he won't budge. We're going to the toilet paper toss in a couple weeks.
We got the toilet paper toss,
and this man's bringing his computer to watch the Pistons. It's ridiculous. Anyways. I'm not as big as a fan as Anthony, but I've been in the slumps.
You have.
I'm not like watching every game. I have a life, and
you also work the games too, so it's hard for you to watch.
Yeah, but I still watch.
You still watch, but it's hard for you to watch consistently throughout the game.
Harder,
yes.
Harder to watch. But I make sure I watch whenever I'm there for context for the new subscribers. I work at LCA and I also work at Ford Field, so I've been fortunate enough to go to work Red Wings, Lions, and Pistons events. Not Tigers. I don't work for the Tigers, but anyways, it's impressive to say the least. I think JB Bickerstaff deserves Coach of the Year, especially if we make the play-in or the playoffs. He should get Coach of the Year to hand it on a silver platter
because most of this is coaching.
It's coaching.
Yeah.
I think last year our roster was pretty good, except we had Monty Williams and why am I blanking on his name? As our assistant coach. Steven Silas. As our
we also didn't have
coach.
any veterans either. That also
we had
really
two
helped.
veterans, and they were gone.
Yeah.
And then we got more, and then they left.
Some of our veterans included the names of James Wiseman, Marvin
Joe Harris,
Marvin
Bagley,
Beef
Monte
Jerky
Morris,
Joe.
Shake Milton.
Oh yeah, can't forget Shake
Milton.
What about
8 games to Shake?
What was his name? Mike Brown or whatever his name is.
Oh,
Troy Brown.
Troy Brown
Jr.
Yeah.
Anyways, last year was the season where I watched the most Pistons game in a long time. But then again, I've been there when Cade got hurt. When Ivy had to step up and be our best player in 22-23, I was there Cade's rookie year. I was there when we had Plum Dog Millionaire and DeLon Wright and Josh Jackson and Jeremy Grant.
Don't forget
Frank
Tyler
Jackson.
Cook.
And who?
Tyler Cook started a basketball game for us.
I don't care. I've been there in the slumps with Anthony, but not as much. But it's impressive. All of this is paying off.
It is.
JB deserves Coach of the Year. Trajan deserves Executive of the Year. He has the best odds to win it.
Yeah.
What they did was I knew we would win 30 to 35 games this year because of how this team was built And we got rid of the old, and we brought in guys like Timmy and Malik,
Tobias
and Ron Holland and Bobby Klintman and all these guys. I knew we were on the right track because we got guys that could help out these younger guys, and Paul Reed too.
B-ball Paul.
It's impressive. We won 9 out of our last 11. I love it. Cade, vote for him in the All-Star.
Vote for Cade All-Star.
I think if Cade doesn't get the fan vote, he'll get the coach's vote in my eyes.
He'll be an All-Star. We just want him to be a starter.
I don't want him. I don't care. I just want him to make the team.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and I think it's impressive.
It is.
I have a Jared Goff rant, but I'll leave that for the next segment.
All right, so the Pistons play the Knicks tonight, 7:30, FanDuel Sports Detroit. It's going to be a good one. Make sure you tune in tonight because a game doesn't matter anymore due to last night's proceedings, at least to the Lions standards. Coming up after the break, we got Lions, we got Wings. We also have a little bit of a surprise in the standings of Pigskin Pick'em. You're watching Card Guys Detroit Sports Talk. We'll be back right after this. Sports cards, signed jerseys, signed helmets, and more. Miller's Sports Cards and Collectibles is your one-stop shop for all things the hobby. Make sure to check them out. Down Mission Street in Mount Pleasant, right past Meyer. Miller's Sports Cards and Collectibles. Card Guys, Detroit Sports Talk. Join Michael Rosenkranz,
Sports take precedence over academics.
I agree, but
Ryan Donnelly,
Corbin Burns, who is their big-ticket J13 item. Scooble is with us. Scooble's our big-ticket
Did
J1.
you just call Tarek Scooble James?
And Anthony Schulte.
I have an issue.
You have.
There is no break. It's a constant grind. It's an unbreakable cycle.
Yeah, it's...
As they navigate through the Detroit sports landscape. Live Mondays and Wednesdays at 7:30 a.m. on 101.1 The Beat in Mount Pleasant and at 11 a.m. on YouTube. Card Guys, Detroit Sports Talk.
Welcome back, Card Guys, Detroit Sports Talk. Ryan Donnelly, Michael Rosenkranz, and Anthony Schulte here with you on our Season 4 premiere episode, our series finale debut episode. Series, not season finale, series finale. Debut episode of Card Guys. The Detroit Lions, kind of been the main event of our entire Season 3. We're pushing into the playoffs now. They've earned their Week 1 bye, back-to-back division NFC North Division champions. Your Detroit Lions.
Awesome. Love to see
Great
it.
to see it, but we have bigger things.
We have bigger fish to fry.
Exactly.
So we get the Week 1 bye. Much needed after having such an early bye this year. We were kind of stumbling to the finish line, even though we were winning games. You could say we were stumbling to the finish line, bodies-wise and defensively. But then the Vikings game came around. Week 18. Prime time football, Sunday night football, game 272 of the season. It's 272, right? I think so.
Yes.
We're going to go with it. Game 272 of the season. The lights haven't been brighter. Ford Field is rocking. And you take what is left of the Minnesota Vikings, you throw it up in the air, and you have Jack Fox punt it into oblivion because we demolished what was left of the Minnesota Vikings and their hopes for an easy playoff run. This game was important. Very important. It was important you won this game, no matter how you won it. It could have been 3-0. All it mattered is you win this game and just get to that bye week. Not only did we win, but I think we convinced the NFL that we're the best team in the NFL.
Yep.
Yeah. Because shorthanded on defense, granted you got back Anzalone, 9 points to that Vikings offense.
Yeah.
9 points.
Where you at, Nick Wright? Where you at?
Right. Where's everybody?
Where's everybody?
How about all 4 of those ESPN pundits, football pundits on NFL Live that said the Vikings were going to win?
Oh, I was cracking up.
And it
when
was
I saw
funny because
that.
I think it was Marcus Freeman who was like, "Wait, we all went with the Vikings?"
Marcus
he was
Freeman
trying to be sneaky with going with the Vikings, be a little different, little unique, and that backfired, didn't it? Because the Lions came out and whooped some booty, gentlemen.
I was fortunate enough to be there.
50-yard line
At the 30-yard line.
Oh, sorry.
Anyways, I mean, I was stressed going into this game, and then Jahmyr Gibbs got a touchdown, and then he got another, and then he got another, and I was like, okay, we're good. Offense, it took a little bit to warm up. I think San Fran, it took the defense a little bit to warm up. Minnesota took a little bit for the offense to warm up.
Took about till the third quarter, I'd
Yeah,
say. Maybe the end of the second quarter when we got that.
I think is their
scoring
biggest weakness. I think their biggest weakness right now is that they don't warm up until the third quarter, whether it's defense or offense. I think defense was lights out against Minnesota. I can't believe I said that.
It was. I mean, it was.
It was. I can't
Amik
believe I said
Robertson.
Amik Robertson,
Robertson.
huge.
Seatbelt fastened.
I trust Amik Robertson against Terry McLaurin on Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
Holy cow.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you could do that against Justin Jefferson, you can go against any wide
Granted,
receiver in the league.
Jefferson kind of cooked him in the end zone one time, and then Sam Darnold throws a lob pass to the pylon.
I could not believe that happened because Jefferson cooked.
That was a touchdown.
That
was a
was.
touchdown. Week 1 through 17, that's an easy touchdown and 6 points. Instead, he was thrown to the pylon cam in the back corner of the end zone.
Shout out to that D-line. That was all because
Yeah.
of that pressure.
Yep.
The pressure was great. We got Za'Darius Smith. We got a sack. We talked about him in the in 3 stars. Anzalone needed him. That already beat up linebackers room now has both of their starters back, which is great. Terrion Arnold, he might have left with a toe or a foot injury, but
He'll be fine. Yeah,
he's coming back, which is great. We need
Kirby.
him.
We didn't mention Kirby Joseph at all.
J. Curb
Got to the league leader in interceptions. First team All-Pro.
Still didn't make a
Pro
Pro
Bowl
Bowl.
snub. How did Xavier McKinney make it over him? Is it because we already had Branch in at the free safety for the Pro Bowl? Like, come on, people.
Put Branch at free safety.
Then again,
he
the Pro
deserves
Bowl's
a
a popularity contest.
It
I
is.
feel like
We're also
but Kirby got the most votes for a safety.
right.
So, I don't know.
we're
I
not
feel like
saying
it is
Brian Branch doesn't deserve a. He does. Brian Branch deserves a Pro Bowl.
Oh, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve a
Yeah.
Pro Bowl at all. He deserves a Pro Bowl.
He deserves the Pro Bowl.
I'm just
but Kirby
saying, I
deserves
think
it a
they
little
took
more.
out Kirby to kind of even out the Honolulu blue that was kind of taking over. It was just going to be the Lions. And the problem is they got to replace all those guys with reserves when the Lions make the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Right.
So-
All the Lions fans and bandwagons all voted for Panay and Amon-Ra and Jared Goff. I mean, how many Pro Bowlers did we end up having? Goff, Amon-Ra, Panay,
Jahmyr
Gibbs, Jack Fox,
Khalif
Raymond,
and then Brian Branch.
Brian Branch. So
Brian
7.
Branch.
We had
And then we had
7 Pro Bowlers.
Anybody else that's notable is a reserve.
7 Pro Bowlers. That's insane.
Yeah.
This team is so crazy.
Panay Sewell, also, one more stat. Panay Sewell is the first offensive lineman since Anthony Munoz to be selected to 2 first-team All-Pro nominations under the age of 25, and Anthony Munoz was the only player to ever do it.
Wow.
All right. I'll make a couple more quick hits. We got the Commanders. We'll talk about that Wednesday and Saturday.
Yes.
Do not take this team lightly.
No.
Do not. Jaden Daniels.
Mobile quarterback.
In his postseason debut, he looked like he's been doing this 20,000 times.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels, do not take him lightly. I'm scared for him and him only. Bobby Wagner had a great game yesterday for that Commanders
They've
defense.
got a good defense.
They
They've
got
got a lot
a
of
great
guys
duo.
on it.
I think what Washington did in the offseason, it was kind of like what the Pistons did, which is get your young guy and then get a bunch of veterans to surround him. They got Jaden Daniels, and then they got Austin Eckler, and then they got Bobby Wagner,
Frankie Louvu,
Marshawn Lattimore. They got all these guys.
Mikey Sanders still.
He's a
Good
dog.
player.
I've known
Mikey's
this
a dog.
since
We should have drafted him.
they should have drafted Mikey Sanders still over Ennis Rakestraw. But anyways, my second point kind of goes to the fans. And this is going to be a couple minutes. Or a couple seconds. My bad, sorry. I don't like the narrative of we're automatically winning the Super Bowl. Folks, we got to get there first. I don't like the fans who are like, see you in the Super Bowl. We're going to win the Super Bowl. No. We got to make it first. We got to go through Washington. And then we probably have to go through Philly. And then we got to make it first. And then you can say, let's win the Super Bowl. Let's not jump the gun, Lions fans. It's mostly the bandwagons. It's not like us. In my mind, I think we can make it. But I'm not like, we're going to make it.
I said this before the show.
Any given Sunday.
I said this before the show, before we started. If we go into this game thinking we're just going to get to the Super Bowl, or that we can have the overarching goal win the Super Bowl, but if that's our main mindset is we're winning the Super Bowl, we're going to lose. Yeah. We need to go into each game, and granted they're professionals, they're probably doing this. The Lions are the most professional team in the NFL. We know how to
media doesn't think that. Though.
We know how to handle ourselves. But we need to go into these games think, all right, we need to beat Washington. And our coaching staff is great at this. Beat Washington. And then once we beat Washington, now we have to beat Philly. And then once we beat Philly, now let's win the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. As our main focus and goals of game planning. And granted, they are a winning professional coaching staff. And I am a college sports or a college student that loves sports that's talking on a radio show. There's two different levels to this. But that's the mindset you need to have if you want to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and I'm not saying I'll make this quick point. Michael can go. I'm not saying we're not making the Super Bowl. I'm just saying let's not get ahead of ourselves with this Super Bowl talk. I think we can make it, but I'm not jumping the gun saying, "Oh, let's make the Super Bowl. Let's win the Super Bowl." We got to get there first. Got to beat Washington on Saturday, which we'll preview on Wednesday, and then you got to beat either Philly, LA, or Minnesota in the NFC Championship that next week. But listen, Lions are rolling. Defense looks great. Offense looks great. You just got to start off hot and keep it going instead of being cold and then go into the third quarter just torching them.
Every team is in the playoffs for a reason. Every team in the playoffs should scare you because they got here for a reason. The Commanders were 12-5.
Yeah.
12-5 is what we were last year, folks. Or we were 11-6. No, we were 12-5.
We were 12-5.
That's what we were last year, and we thought we were the top cheese. The Commanders got there this year. So the Commanders are a formidable foe, even though they are the 6th seed.
3 games. This has now turned into a 3-game season. Do your job against Washington.
Yep.
Do your job against more than likely Philly.
Preach, preacher.
Do your job if we make it to the Super Bowl. Do your job in the Super Bowl.
Amen.
Hallelujah. Amen.
Yes, sir.
So, Lions, what a time it is to be a fan. What a time it is to be a Detroit sports fan.
A real Detroit sports fan. Not a bandwagon.
What a time it is to be a Detroit sports fan. Got the Lions, the Commanders. We're going to preview it a little bit more in depth to lead off the show on Wednesday. So make sure you are staying tuned in with the channel. We're talking about Detroit sports. We will be remiss to not bring up the Detroit Red Wings.
Hey, yes! Hockeytown!
What a resurgence.
Holy cow.
Out goes Derek Lalonde. That we've been asking for that since, I think, episode 1 of season 3.
Yeah.
In comes Todd McClellan. Just play bleeping hockey. And they're doing that 7 in a row for the Wingers.
Yeah. 7 in a row. Like, what a turnaround.
2 goals in a minute yesterday. In the first minute of the game, 2 goals. And then in the first 8 minutes, we're up 4-0.
4 goals in 8 minutes, 2 goals in 11 seconds.
Oh, it was 11 seconds?
2 goals in 11 seconds.
I get a notification from the Red Wings saying we scored. I was like, oh, we scored. I put down my phone. I get another notification. Oh, we scored. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait, they just tweeted this for a different guy. What happened? It's 2-0? How did that happen?
Yeah, so the first game, for context, for those who are new and who don't follow this team, the very first game Todd McClellan coached was against the Leafs.
Yep.
Incredibly difficult opponent.
Yep.
And the Leafs killed you. And the very first practice that Todd McClellan had with his team, that is when he uttered the aforementioned phrase, just play
blanking hockey. You've played
hockey.
It your entire life.
You've done that your whole lives. And they've done that. And did you guys read the report that when there was the hour-long practice, that was the longest practice of the season?
Huh?
I thought it was 3 hours.
It could have been 3. I might just be dyslexic and just not remember reading that.
I swear I read something that Todd McClellan held a 3 hour long
that
practice.
makes more sense. The point is, Todd McClellan has turned around this team. He has reinvigorated a dead locker room at the hands of Derek Lalonde and Bob Bogner, who are both gone. Thank goodness.
Thank you, God.
Yeah, bringing in Todd McClellan is what this team needed. After you get blown out by the Leafs, you've had one goal in mind. Play bleeping hockey. And they've won 7 in a row.
That's the mantra for the season.
That is now the new
It's
mantra
the
for the season. Play bleeping hockey.
It's crazy what
Wow.
happens when you get rid of a coach that is generally hated by not only the fans, by not only ownership, but by the players. A coach that the players aren't playing for. And you insert a coach that now the fans love, ownership loves, and the players play for and will do anything for and will die on the ice or the court for. LCA has seen the same thing happen in the span of 1 year. And that is a coach that shouldn't be here, that didn't have the locker room, that was coaching losing ball or puck, get fired, ownership takes accountability, and they hire somebody new that instantly gains the love of the locker room. Mm-hmm. It's happened with the Pistons. It's happened with the Wings. Both teams are on fire right now.
And let's remember, Derek Lalonde was not a head coach.
Nope. Right.
He had 0 head coaching experience. Todd McClellan, he's got like 16 years head coaching experience. Just got his 600 career win in the second game in a row that we won. Mm-hmm. And he knows what it takes to win.
He does.
And I love that. He knows what it takes to win. He was an assistant on the 2008 Stanley Cup team. Now, Red Wings play again tomorrow night against San Jose. The return of Jake Wallman, who's been thriving in San Jose.
He's been great.
But San Jose, not a good team. Under Todd McClellan, you can beat this team.
100%.
Under Derek Lalonde, you didn't beat this team.
You'd have a 4-point lead or 4-goal lead and lose by 1 in overtime.
Exactly. Under Todd McClellan, you can beat this team. I want the Red Wings to keep continuing on, to go for 8 in a row. It's so good to see a turnaround, don't you guys think?
Yeah. Ryan, real quick before we hit our final segment of the day.
I think the Red Wings have been impressive. I've been there for most of it. I think, in my eyes, if we played the same game against the Kraken, if we were up 4-0, we'd lose the game by 2 goals, in my eyes, under Derek Lalonde. But Todd McClellan has turned this franchise around. I was there when we lost 4-0 to the Blues. I wasn't there in the bowl, but, man, that team was getting booed off the ice.
Yeah, they were.
The video that I saw of the boos, I was just like, number one, felt awful for the fans. And again, to harp on it, get Derek Lalonde out! And they did!
They fired Lalonde that day. They fired Newsy that day. Next day, or literally next minute, Tom McClellan is hired. And I don't remember the assistant coach's name they hired, but he was there to help with the PK. And it's working.
Yes.
We are clean on the PK. We went from one of the worst penalty kill teams to a middle of the road.
And that's insane growth in a couple of games.
Taking a look at the wild card, because we didn't talk about the wild card. When we last talked to you folks, we were towards the bottom.
Weren't we at the bottom?
No, we weren't.
Weren't we
we were second?
Yeah,
bottom.
second from the bottom. Yeah.
We are now a point behind Ottawa, who is a point behind Columbus, who's in second place of the wild card.
So we're 2 games out of.
We are 2 games out of a wild card.
Technically,
we are 2 points away from a wild card spot. Ottawa needs to keep losing. We got to beat San Jose, and we are 1 game away out of a wild card spot, which is crazy to say. This team reminds me so much of the 2019 Blue Jackets, who were 28th in the league by the NHL trade deadline. Shout out Isaac Haffenden for telling me this. Who were 28 games, they're 28th in the league by the deadline, and then won the Stanley Cup. That shows how coaching is in just sports, how important it is. This locker room was dead. I knew on opening night when they were doing the little stick slap on center ice, that team looked dead. That team looked lost, and that team looked bored. Under McClellan, 7-game winning streak. We haven't gotten outshot until last night. Our goals against average has improved. Our goals our goal average has gone up a lot. Defensively, we look great. And also, shout out Axel Sandin Palinka, who's killing it in Sweden. Mm-hmm. We needed a right wing goal scorer, and we got him. He's killing it in Sweden, by the way. That's a little shout out to him. But man, the Red Wings are a wagon. Yeah. If there's any year, if we make the play-in or NBA brain. If we make the wild card, Stevie Y keeps his job.
He does.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
100%.
I thought he was on the hot seat because we weren't winning games. That's a Derek Lalonde problem. I knew Stevie Y was not the problem. It was Lalonde. And look at what happened. We got McClellan. We're winning games again. We're over 500. We're 20-18. That was a great year. This team's a wagon, boys. I'm so excited to see what's happening with the rest of the year. We got San Jose tomorrow. We can definitely beat them. Wallman's return. Sharks are an up-and-coming team. I'm so pumped with Detroit sports right now, and the Red Wings are a part of it. Let's go, baby.
Red Wings, Sharks, tomorrow night. I think the Pistons have the night off tomorrow night, so...
Yes,
I think you're right,
So
yes.
all
JV
eyes will be
basketball
on the
plays
Red
tomorrow.
Wings.
We will be there.
Yes, we will.
Yes.
Real quick, it's been a little bit since we've been on the air, and I did pick up a few cards that I'm very excited about over break. A couple grails, if you will, for me. I do have to say, investing in Cade Cunningham has been so awesome. Having this super collection of Cade Cunningham has been great now because I was buying low. We're up here now. There's a couple cards I got. One, Obsidian, which is my favorite set, Cade Cunningham autograph card out of 75. Beautiful card. Obsidian's my favorite set, so I wanted to get a Cade auto of that. I got it. I love it. Another card I got. PSA 10. Silver Ice.
What?
Cade Cunningham.
What?
Prism Rookie.
What?
Grail
What?
card. These were all traded for, too. These were all traded for. A couple big pickups for me. We are the card guys. I want to talk about cards a little bit just for the namesake's purpose. And those are just two Grail cards that I love. Shout out Tony. I know he'll like this segment.
Yeah, shout out Tony, too. We made a trade over break. I don't remember what it was for because I don't really care about cards like him or Tony, but...
It was for Scoobles.
He traded me a bunch of Scoobles for a Scooble I had. I think it's an Independence Day out of 79. Like I said, I'm not as uberly obsessed as him and our other friend Tony, but yeah, I mean, I still enjoy the hobby.
I got a couple numbered Panay rookies, and I got a Kirby Joseph checkerboard prism too, which is cool. But that's just a little bit about cards. Real quickly, before we head off the air, Pick'em. Remember our Pick'em League that we had before the end of Season 3? Well, when we ended Season 3, there was still 3 weeks left of NFL football. And a couple birdies forgot to make their picks. And one birdie, one very smart birdie, remembered to make his picks. And this guy, the winner of 2024 Card Guys Pigskin Pick'em!
I can't listen to this.
Me! Yes!
I cannot believe I literally fumbled the bag out of 3 weeks of picks.
We all picked the same.
You
had first place locked if we all just picked the same like
Yes!
we kept doing. And you two didn't pick. All right, here are the final standings of the NFL season. This kind of turned into a staple to end the show, was making our picks, talking some big skin. I finish in first place with an 84.4 percentage at 175 and 96. Ryan gets second place.
Because I remembered it was 12:50, I think like week 16. I was like, oh, I have to make
Ryan got second?
Because he picked in week 16.
I remembered to pick.
So Ryan is 152 and 83, 74.8 percentage, and he only got second place because he had more week 16 points than you did.
And you had 0. Man.
Or more, sorry, yeah, because that's the last time he picked. Last time he picked was week 16. Because of that, he gets second place.
Oh my!
Third place would be Mr. Michael Rosenkranz at 152 and 70.
I fumbled the bag.
And fourth place is a good friend of the program, Isaac Haffenden, at 115 and 73.
Somebody launch me out of the cannon right now because I cannot listen to this right now.
Ah, man, it feels good to win gold. All right, let's go to Bowl Mania. Because we have another winner clinched in Bowl Mania.
Oh, it's
Ladies
you!
and gentlemen, in first place in Bowl Mania, the winner
again.
in first place, me!
My man was on a hot streak. What happened?
And I clinched that because there's only one game left, and you guys didn't pick the final national championship semifinals.
You can pick it?
Yep,
No!
you guys didn't.
Oh my God! Why?
Well, I'm picking the national championship. I'm picking the Ohio
So
State Buckeyes.
Michael gets second place at 20. Well, second place and third place are still up for grabs here, but second place right now, Michael 26-18, Ryan 25-19.
Yay.
So there's still a chance if the national championship goes a certain way.
Ooh, you picked Notre Dame.
I'm picking
picked
Notre
Notre
Dame.
Dame.
I picked Ohio State.
Screw
All right.
Ohio State. Ohio State is the best team, but
So
I cannot stand
if
the
Ohio
Buckeyes.
State wins, Ryan gets second place. If Notre Dame wins, Michael gets second place.
By the
It's a
way,
battle for
lot riding on this game.
By the way, I'm not watching the national championship.
I'm not either.
The Pistons are on it too. I'm
Raw-
watching the Pistons.
Raw is also on that day too.
The Pistons are on, and that's more important to me than Ohio State. Notre Dame.
Priorities.
That sucks.
All right. Well, that is all we have for today's show. Thank you for tuning into Card Guys Season 4, Episode 1
That's
on
crazy.
101.1 The Beat and YouTube. Tune in Wednesday as we check in on the Pistons and Wings, see how they're doing. We go over the Tigers' off-season moves as it's been kind of quiet, but still some things have happened. We promise you some things have happened. And we preview the Lions' upcoming bout with the Washington Commanders on Saturday. For my good buddies, Ryan Donnelly and Michael Rosenkranz, I'm Anthony Schulte saying so long, everybody.
Love you, Mom and Dad. It's great to see you over the break. See you soon.